The principle of creation. Throughout history, people have anguished over the fundamental questions of human life and the universe. This is because no one has understood the root principle by which humanity and the universe were originally created. The fundamental question is that of the causal reality. Problems concerning human life and the universe cannot be solved without first understanding the nature of God. How can we know the nature of God? One way to fathom God's deity is by observing the universe which He created. Just as we can come to know the character of an artist through his works, so we can understand the nature of God by observing the diverse things of creation. Hence, Paul said in Romans 1:20, "Ever since the creation of the world, His eternal power and divine nature, invisible though they are, have been understood and seen through the things He has made, so they are without excuse." Universal elements in the natural world and God. Every entity possesses dual characteristics of yang and yin. More fundamentally, every entity possesses both an outer form and inner quality. The visible outer form resembles the invisible inner quality. The inner quality is called internal nature, and the outer form or shape is called external form. Since the external form may also be understood as a second internal nature, the internal nature and the external form together constitute dual characteristics. The first cause of all things must also possess the dual characteristics of internal nature and external form, which stand in the position of subject partner to the internal natures and external forms of all beings. We call this first cause God, and His internal nature and external form the original internal nature and the original external form. God also exists based on the reciprocal relationship between His dual characteristics of yang and yin. God is the harmonious union of the original internal nature and the original external form, the harmonious union of masculinity and femininity, the subject partner standing as the internal nature and masculinity in relation to the universe. The relationship between God and the universe. The relationship between God and the universe can be summarized thus. God is the invisible subject partner, and the universe as a whole is a substantial object partner to God. In accordance with the principle of creation, God's dual characteristics manifest themselves symbolically or in image as individual embodiments of truth which constitute the universe. Universal prime energy and give and take action. God, the creator of all things, is the absolute reality, eternal, self-existent, and transcendent of time and space. The fundamental energy of God's being is also eternal, self-existent, and absolute. It is the origin of all energies and forces that allow created beings to exist. We call this fundamental energy universal prime energy. Through the agency of universal prime energy, the subject and object elements of every entity form a common base and enter into interaction. This interaction, in turn, generates all the forces the entity needs for existence, multiplication, and action. The interaction generating these forces through this process is called give and take action. The four-position foundation and the purpose of creation. When the origin, the subject partner and object partner projected from the origin, and their union all engage in a harmonious give and take action and fulfill the three-object purpose, the four-position foundation is established. When the whole creation, including human beings, completes the four-position foundation with God as the center, God's three great blessings are fulfilled. This is the kingdom of heaven, where ultimate goodness is realized, and God feels the greatest joy. This is, in fact, the very purpose for which God created the universe. Therefore, the ultimate purpose of the universe, with human beings at its center, is to return joy to God. God's three blessings. God's first blessing is to perfect our individual character. For this, an individual's mind and body should become one through give and take action, thereby forming a God-centered individual four-position foundation. In fulfilling God's second blessing, an individually perfected man and woman should join in loving oneness as husband and wife and raise children, thereby constructing a God-centered family four-position foundation. God's third blessing is to perfect human dominion over the natural world. For this, human beings and the natural world should become completely one, thereby establishing a God-centered four-position foundation of dominion. The growing period for the creation. All creation reaches perfection by passing through three ordered stages of growth: formation stage, growth stage, and completion stage. When created beings are in the growing period, God has regard only for the fruits of their growth, which are based on the principle. In this way, He governs all things indirectly. We call this growing period the realm of God's indirect dominion, or the realm of dominion based on accomplishments through the principle. All things reach perfection after passing through the growing period by virtue of the autonomy and governance given by God's principle. Human beings, however, pass through the growing period and reach perfection by fulfilling their own portion of responsibility, in addition to the guidance provided by the principle. The incorporeal world and the corporeal world. The universe was created after the pattern of a human being, who is in the image of God's dual characteristics. Hence, corresponding to the human mind and body, the universe consists of the incorporeal world and the corporeal world, both of which are real and substantial. The two worlds together form the cosmos. The incorporeal world is in the position of the subject partner, and the corporeal world the object partner. The latter is like a shadow of the former. When we shed our physical bodies, we enter the incorporeal world as spirits and live there for eternity. The reciprocal relationship between the physical self and the spirit self. The physical self consists of the dual characteristics of the physical mind and the physical body. Good or evil in the conduct of the physical self determines whether the spirit self becomes good or evil. Our spirit self consists of the dual characteristics of spirit mind and spirit body. The spirit can grow and reach perfection only while it abides in the body. The spirit becomes good only through the redemption of sins granted during earthly life. It is not God, but the Spirit Himself who decides whether the spirit enters heaven or hell after death.